welcome to Otaku Saga. I'm Zero.
I'm DK.
And I'm Rizzo. And today on Anime Reaction, we watched the third episode of Amanchu. If you want to see our reaction to the third episode of Amanchu, hit that link in the description below.
And be sure to give us feedback in the comment section because we love hearing from you.
And as always, if you like what you see, subscribe to Otaku Saga. And don't forget to like and share our videos.
And thanks for watching. We're all sitting here making faces for that part.
Exactly.
Anyway, so on this episode of Amanchu, we get more indecisions from Teko.
Yep. Still wondering where Picari was at the beginning of the episode, but
she went to go buy bread in the school cantina.
Cantina.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. It's just the word that canteen, whatever.
/ cafeteria.
You know what
Cantina.
It works.
It works.
It just opened up.
Hey.
It just made it seem like she wasn't even at school that day.
Yeah. That's kind of the way that it made it feel at the beginning of the episode. But yeah, like a majority of the episode seemed to be that whole indecision from Teko, and hopefully it kind of moves a little bit away from that because that really slowed down the pacing of this one.
Yeah,
This one was probably the slowest episode I've seen in a while.
Yeah,
And that's saying something considering that we watched Tanaka show.
it really is.
Yeah, I mean, well, I mentioned during the reaction, but now TranZenTion's over. This is our sort of tranquilizing series for the season.
I mean, which wasn't that slow.
No, it really wasn't.
Yeah,
it
true.
was more comedy.
Hmm.
But
this has funny moments, but this episode in particular, though, yeah, it was pretty relaxed.
But yeah, then in the second part of the episode, they actually went to the diving club. And reality ensued because I got in trouble for sneaking in and using the dry suits.
And naturally, Picari got it twice.
That was funny.
That was hilarious.
It was me.
She dragged you into it.
I
Nailed
was
it.
there too.
She dragged you into it, didn't she?
That teacher, just savvy enough for this series.
Yep.
And then they did an explanation on a couple techniques to use to help equalize air pressure across your body, both going up and down.
Yeah. Yeah, while they didn't specifically mention it, it's basically talking about, they call them squeezes. When you get the air trapped in your ear or whatever, it can cause some like permanent hearing damage if you're not equalizing your ears.
Anybody who's familiar with an airplane ride,
Yeah.
you still get that even with the cabin pressure being pressurized.
But yeah, and then with diving, it can happen like really quickly too.
It can happen in
It can happen in like a foot.
But
Yeah, because like when I was doing my diving training, my instructor was talking about one time when he was diving, he was coming up and he was like maybe a couple feet below the surface, and he felt the pressure in his ears, but since he was so close to the surface, he just decided to go up to the surface. Ended up injuring his ear, and he like he said he couldn't dive for like months.
ouch.
Yeah. Ended up having to go to the hospital.
You gotta remember that, like, when you're under the water, all that air pressure is trapped under water.
Yeah, I mean, those tanks are forcing all that nitrogen and everything into your system, right?
No, it's the way that the system is designed. You only get air when you actually suck air in.
Okay.
But yeah, even under, like, if you go, our high school swimming pool, it was like,
Which incidentally is where I did all my pool diving training.
but the deep end of that I think was
13 feet.
13 feet.
Yeah, 13
Just did
feet.
diving of it, so.
Yep. Going to the bottom of that was painful. Like when the one time that I actually took a dive off the diving board, I hit the bottom with I touched the bottom with my feet, scrunched up a little bit, got as low as I could so I can shoot back up. That was painful because it was like that.
Well, yeah, and then when I was doing the dive training, one of the things was whenever we had the pool training days, there'd be students underneath, in the deep end, but there'd also be students who had finished up whatever diving they needed to do that day. So, maybe we were free swimming or whatever. And the biggest rule there was don't go down and then get air from somebody and come back up. Because even in that short range, you can pop a lung. Which is no fun, right, DK?
You're damn right. Well, hell, you
completely unrelated to diving.
Even on the surface, popping a lung sucks, so...
Yeah, completely unrelated to diving, but DK has actually popped a lung before.
Yeah.
Weightlifting.
Don't do it. It's like the worst headache you'll ever imagine. And the way air leaks out, though, it's actually kind of cool in a sort of morbid kind of way. When you press down the gap in your trapeus when air's leaking out, it kind of feels and sounds like rice paper crinkling. It's creepy as hell, and like I said, that initial headache is like someone jabbing a spear through your skull. It sucks.
That bit of disgustingness brought to you by Otaku Saga.
Well, there's another thing that you brought up a little bit, or like, I wouldn't say brought up, but you mentioned like people don't actually know this.
Oh yeah, the equalizing your ears.
Yeah, being able to pinch your nose and then trying to exhale while your mouth and nose are closed. It's a very good technique. Can be a little dangerous because that's probably the most forceful way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But almost my entire family didn't know that until one day we went up to the mountains and my dad taught my mom and my three brothers all that technique. Because my dad's from Colorado, my mom is from Missouri.
Yeah, in Missouri you don't really have to deal with that very much.
What elevation?
I think probably the reason why I learned that technique when I was so young was because a good chunk of my childhood was spent in Hawaii, where you swim and there's divers and stuff all around. So that's probably how I learned that technique initially, and I just don't remember.
That's how I did too, because if you're not at school, you're at the beach. It's just what you do.
There was I went to a camp with a bunch of people for a church camp or whatever, and there was it was way up in the mountains, and there was people on the bus who couldn't deal with it because they didn't understand.
I always whenever I go on car trips, especially if I'm going up towards the mountains, I always bring a pack of gum. Just hand a pack of gum to people. Obviously, you can't do that when you're diving because you don't want to get gum stuck in the rebreather. But like if you're on an airplane or something, that's usually the best thing to do.
Yeah, I used to just
grab a pack of gum because it messes with the distribution tube, I believe. It's the tube between your inner ear and your.
If there are any urologists or ENT doctors in the house, leave us a comment.
Yeah,
explain how that works.
but it basically messes with how everything is in your head and lets the air equalize.
I heard about the gum thing. I never tried it out myself. I usually just do. And then if I'm up in the air,
I'm a gum chewer. Like I chew gum all the time.
Oh, there you go.
That's usually my number one technique because then I chew gum and I don't think about it.
But yeah, that was the episode.
There you go.
That was pretty much it.
A big lecture on air pressure equalization.
Yeah, I mean it's lesson number one basically for diving.
Yeah.
So don't stop breathing underwater because you will pop a lung if you change depths.
So next episode. Looks like they're going into the pool, and it looks like there are more cult members to boot.
And they both have pink hair.
Siblings. Calling it now, siblings.
Yeah.
They ain't even looked at the Wikipedia page. Siblings.
Yeah.
But let us know what you thought of the anime and what you thought of our reaction in the comment section below.
Yep, thumbs up if you like it, thumbs down if you don't.
But that's going to do it for this episode of Anime Reaction. As always, I'm DK.
I'm Zero.
And I'm Rizzo. See you next time.
Woo!